ABC, Craig from the Vinyl Record Player. Got some pretty good vinyl finds here. You're definitely going to want to, what? Stick around. Okay, so let's get into the vinyl finds here. Found a few classics out west again, or east again rather, and then actually a couple from another record store that I go to here in beautiful San Diego, California. It started off from 1974. The new improved Spinners. Don't know the Spinners all that well. They did the It's a Shame. Was a big hit. Apparently they kind of it didn't do much on Motown. Then they had It's a Shame, and kind of blew up. And then they signed with Atlantic because unfortunately Motown, not a perfect label. If you weren't kind of devoted, if you didn't have attention devoted to you, if you didn't have the best writers, then sometimes your career kind of went nowhere. They kind of took off when they moved on to Atlantic. Here's a pretty cool shot of the band. I had seen this one at the store a few times, and I was like, should I buy it? Should I buy it? I've only listened to side one of this one, but you know what? Then Came You, featuring Dionne Warwick, is on side one. Totally changed the course of the album. The first two songs, I was like, okay, I mean, I guess. Dionne comes on a track, blows it wide open, and I think that was actually a hit. But I'm kind of excited to hear the rest of this because recently I've been listening to G.C. Cameron, who actually was kind of the lead singer of the Spinners for a good portion of time, probably even right here as well. He did some solo work on what label? Speaking of artists who didn't really get hits because their label kind of wasn't paying attention, G.C. Cameron. That's coming up in a video actually pretty soon because, wow, he's a singer. But anyway, new and improved Spinners. Good record. You see this one for under 10. It's worth a listen. Like I say, nothing groundbreaking yet, but I may find out different later. From 76, right there, Lamont Dozier. Of course, you know Lamont Dozier from Holland Dozier Holland, who of course wrote tons of songs for the Supremes and for the Temptations and Baby Love. I think he wrote Baby Love. Just tons of songs in the 70s. Anyway, he went solo, kind of became an artist around 74. Really good album by him. I think it's called Breaking Out All Over, I think. I'm pretty sure that's... Anyway, that's the album that I'm constantly on the hunt for. If I see that one, it's got Fish Ain't Bitin', Breaking Out All Over, a few other great jams on it. Really fell in love with that record this summer. Have not seen it, but I saw this one. I'm like, this is $6. It's in the wild. You know what? I listened to side one. You can see there's Lamont. He's hanging out with obviously. I'm not saying brothers. Maybe hitting above his pay level, but hey, good for him. Good for you, Lamont. At any rate, listen to the album. Good, but not great. Then I listened to side two, and side two kind of funks it up and discos it up a little bit, and I was impressed. So basically a little ballady on side one, but side two, I'm like, that's the Lamont Dozier that I know. So kind of excited to get this one. It's actually in really good condition, and fun record. Let us go to, for all my jazz fusion buddies out there, this is the best of Billy Cobham. Billy Cobham, drummer, if you're not familiar, real kind of innovator in the jazz fusion world. I, of course, am not a jazz fusion guy at all, but I saw this one at my favorite record store a couple of times, and I kept passing it, and I was like, I should get that. Because I'm a lot more into instrumental music than I was before. So, best of Billy Cobham. I've not listened to it yet. His key album, as far as the experts that I watch, including Sea of Tranquility, great channel. They got jazz fusion, they got prog guys, up the yang, it's crazy. His kind of key album apparently is Spectrum, but this one is a best of. I'm like, I don't think that you can really go wrong. He played with a lot of really good players, so this will be undoubtedly a very fun record. This is Phoenix by LaBelle. I had purchased another record by them, the one with Lady Marmalade on it, which, of course, is not actually, I'm not remembering right now. That record, stunning. This record also produced by Alan Toussaint. This is not as easy of a record, though. It's not as easy of a record to get into. And I think that partially maybe has something to do with Nona Hendryx, who writes, I think, quite a few of the tunes on this one. Nona is not the most accessible songwriter known to man. But again, I feel like this is kind of one of those albums where if you kind of listen to it, a few times and kind of grind it out, that you'll come up with something good. I was watching another gentleman's channel as well, and happened to see him bigging up this. And you know what? I figured it's worth a shot. I think this one was like maybe $5. So good record. O.C. Smith on my, this is part of my never-ending quest to find a decent O.C. Smith record. I was under the impression that this was a album. It's not really. I was under the impression that it was produced by Johnny Bristol. It's not really. It turns out there's a couple of tracks that are Johnny Bristol produced, including the title track, which is okay, but again, Al Wilson, him of Show and Tell fame, does a better version than this one. In fact, this one's it's a little, I don't want to say anemic, but let's just say its skin is of a yellow variety, which I guess is anemia, isn't it? Anyway, it's okay. Again, this is more of a compilation than an album. I'm not sure why I keep on seeing this as like an album, because not a lot of new recorded material. There's a song called Don't Misunderstand from Shaft's Big Score, Friend, Lover, Woman, Wife, and also Daddy's Little Man. Those are our previous hits. So this is kind of part compilation, kind of part new album. It's okay. But again, still, I'm 3 albums into my pursuit of where is there some cool, funky, I don't know that, I'm gonna have to change my expectation. I don't think there's any funky O.C. Smith, but he's a good singer. But unfortunately, this album leaves me wanting more. I'm still looking for the ultimate O.C. Smith record. And again, like I said, there's like 2 Johnny Bristol produced tracks on this, not the whole thing at all. So a little bit of a letdown, but great condition on this record. And on the Columbia label, of course. Oh, this is my big surprise of this one, actually, of this particular vinyl finds. This was a shock to me. This is Feel Good from Ike and Tina from 1972. I saw this album, it was like $5, okay? And I'm like, well, Ike and Tina, my issue, I think, with Ike and Tina is mostly that sometimes Tina can be a little bit, the intensity is kind of like not stopping. It's a little much sometimes, you're just like, this record is fan-freaking-tastic. I actually was shocked. This is like made me much more interested in Ike and Tina than before. I was just listening to, as an example, Nutbush City Limits, the album, the other day, and I was like, nothing's really, They got another one called Working Together, and I was like, it's okay. It's kind of seen as kind of one of their classics. This one, I happen to pull up my old allmusic.com. I hope you're using that site. I think it's the best. It's the best music sort of encyclopedia site of any on the internet. I pull it up. This is showing up as 4.5 stars. So I'm like, okay, well, we'll try it. So no big singles on this album that anyone particularly knows. Of course, we got Ike on the back. He's in red. I know Ike's an awful guy, and he's like domestic violence and just like a terrible dude. And, he was crushing Tina for like a long, long time. But I gotta say, he can rip. Dude's ripping all over this album. A lot of hot, sort of funky, dirty licks going on here. It's a funky record. This is kind of like, this is kind of a rock and soul sort of vibe. So I would almost give it a little, maybe compare it to like a Delaney and Bonnie's sort of style, and then it's kind of got this countrified, down home type of funk. And like I say, say what you want about Ike, but man, he can rip a good lick. So yeah, like I say, hugely surprising record for me. Feel Good, 72, Ike and Tina. So yeah, so that's my vinyl finds. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here at this point. Now's the point, of course, in the video where you'll want to like and subscribe. Make sure that bell is on, so you can catch all these phenomenal records. I think there's an element of entertainment to be had too. So I'll leave it there. And yeah, we'll see you next time.